Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Julia. Today we're going to be talking about the July 15th school board meeting. So this meeting was pretty light, it's still summer. Everybody was in a good mood. Everybody was kind of joking around, and there was banter back and forth about the World Cup. It was nice. So not a whole lot of interesting stuff happened. The school district maintained their A rating, which is good. Today we're going to be talking about Matt Lane's opening comments, and we're going to be reacting to a public comment. And then at the end of the video, I'll talk a little bit about stuff that's going on with our Moms for Liberty chapter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I attended the Florida School Boards Association conference in June, along with our FSBA delegates, Ms. Salvietto and Mr. Ferguson, and I thought that I'd use my 4 minutes today to share some of the valuable insights that I gained from the conference.
Okay, so the FSBA is the Florida School Board Association, and the FADSS is the Florida Association of District School Superintendents. And I've included here in the video some stuff from both of their websites. Both of these associations offer professional development for our superintendent and for our school board members. And as Matt said, they have leadership roles in the Florida School Board Association, and Mike Burke has a leadership role at the Florida Association of District School Superintendents. Both of these associations offer professional development webinars and legislative platforms and advocacy resources, lots of interesting content on both of these websites. And I'll link both of these websites in the description if you want to look more in depth into them. I know I will.
I attended many seminars during the conference, but the one that resonated most with me was entitled Building Schools That Families Choose. And the central message of this seminar was simple. Parents have choices. Today, families are shopping for schools. Approximately 70% of parents under the age of 30 actively shop for the school they believe is the best fit for their child. If we want those families to choose one of our schools, we must clearly demonstrate why our schools are the best choice for their child. The seminar emphasized that personalized education is now the primary reason that parents choose one school over another. The number one factor parents consider when choosing a school is whether the educational experience that is offered is customized to meet their individual child's needs, interests, and future goals. And the good news is, this is one of our greatest strengths if we use it. Because of the size and resources of our school district, we can offer opportunities that other schools cannot. We have the resources to provide career and technical education. We have the resources to provide specialized choice programs in areas such as law, medical sciences, business, marketing, finance, engineering, construction, police academy, firefighting academy, teaching, and many other career pathways. We also offer exceptional academic opportunities, including IB, ACE, Cambridge, dual enrollment, and many other advanced academic programs. These opportunities are among our greatest competitive advantages, and they're exactly what we should be expanding and highlighting when we market to prospective families. The seminar also emphasized the importance of developing a strong school brand. And a brand isn't a logo or a school color or a mascot. A true brand is the reputation a school earns through its daily teaching, student achievement, school culture, family trust, student belonging, and community perception. Every school should be able to answer several important questions. What do we want families to know about our school? What do we want our students to be proud of? What do current families say about us when we're not in the room? What do we want students to feel when they walk through our doors? And finally, why is this school different from all other schools that are available to parents?
All right, so I have included in the description a list of these questions that he says every school should be able to answer. If you have a child in public school, maybe ask their teacher or their principal, sit down and have a conversation with your child's principal if your children are in public school, for sure.
At the same time, we also need a clear understanding of why some of our families are choosing to leave our schools and enroll elsewhere. The research presented at the conference showed that in addition to personalized education, parents also consider factors such as school safety, bullying, and their perception of the curriculum that we're offering.
Customization, safety/bullying, and curriculum perception. And I'll just talk about this related to me. My children are still young, as you all know. My children are still young, but I want to homeschool them when they're older, and I can relate to customization and curriculum perception being two of the big reasons I would like to do that. You know, if my child isn't connecting with or thriving with a particular curriculum that I've picked for homeschooling, I can just really quickly change it. But once a school district has purchased and approved a curriculum, let's say maybe it's working for 20 of the students, but it's not really working for 10 of them, that's not enough to just change it. Also, if it's not really working for any of the students, it's okay, well, maybe next year, and that's a whole year of their school. Yeah, curriculum perception. I certainly have a perception that the curriculum has gotten easier, that gradeflation is this huge problem where they're giving grades that students haven't earned and they're not challenging them because they think that's kind. Ideological capture of our teachers and our school librarians deeply concerns me. It's one of the reasons I wouldn't want to have my children in these schools. And then another one, safety and bullying. Now, I just want to show you, I went and looked at the school district's code of conduct for secondary, so for 6th through 12th grade. And we're going to look at consequences section, and we're going to scroll down and we're going to see level 3, which is not mandated expulsion. And you'll see here it says sexual assault. Sexual assault is not a mandated expulsion. It's so ridiculous. Is not a mandated expulsion act. So your middle school aged daughter can be sexually assaulted and they can just suspend the person who did it for 5 days. Yeah, I'm not sending my daughter to your school. Why on earth is this a thing? There's this thinking in modern educational movements, the school to prison pipeline thinking that, if we kick students out for violent behavior, they're just going to go join gangs and then they're going to end up in prison. And, why is my good behaving child a human shield for your bad behaving child? Public schools are designed to be places where students learn. And if somebody has a violent child who is making it hard for everyone else to learn, it's they're showing empathy for the wrong person. We should be showing empathy for the victims of violence and not the people perpetuating the violence. This is a huge problem in modern public schools, that we're just giving 4th, 5th, 10th, 16th chances to these students, and they are, wrecking the learning environment for the good behaving students, and it's making it difficult for them to thrive. Imagine if you were being bullied or had been a victim of violence and they won't get rid of these students and you still have to see them in the cafeteria. I would very quickly grow a sense of distrust for the adults that are supposed to be mentoring me and teaching me, and that would be very damaging. No, avoid.
That means our communication must be intentional, consistent, and clear. Every administrator and staff member should have common talking points so that we all communicate the same message to prospective families. And our most effective ambassadors are our principals. They're trusted leaders in their communities, and we should invest the time necessary to ensure that they're equipped to communicate the many strengths of their schools. The seminar concluded with the most important point of all. It's all about student achievement, and we provide exceptional opportunities for student achievement. Our responsibility is to make sure that every parent understands why one of our schools is the best choice for their child. Thank you.
I enjoy the way that Matt Lane is talking about school choice. I've heard a lot of language from other board members and Mike Burke in particular, kind of whining about school choice and being like, oh, we're going to go to Tallahassee and we're going to fight. And it's like, okay, whatever. This is a dark red state. You know, that's basically posturing. And I like that Matt Lane doesn't sit here and give his opinions about school choice. He's like, I went out during my time and I went to this conference and they taught me things about how to work in this competitive environment, and I'm passing that on to you, the person watching, and to my fellow board members as like a call upon you to take action. And it was great. It's a really nice way to use his opening statement. And then, so now that we've watched that, we're going to watch a public comment from a mom who had a negative experience with her child's public school, and we'll talk about the things that she said. I think a lot of it, it's sort of related to what Matt was saying about, like, this experience tarnished your brand, the brand of this school. What specific things gave this mom a negative perception of this school? So we'll watch that.
Good evening, Chair, Board Members, Superintendent. My name is Louisa Anderson. I'm the parent of a student, and as I watch the school district desperately attempt to rebrand itself after losing approximately 7,000 students, it's important to recognize that you cannot simply rebrand away parents' negative experiences. For example, not long ago, one of your instructional superintendents told me with a tone of disdain that if I didn't like what my child's school was doing to him, I could use a Florida school voucher and enroll my child in a private school. It appears many parents ultimately took that advice.
So, yes, it's true that the school district lost 7,000 students, but she's kind of making it sound like 7,000 students took vouchers or started homeschooling or started being homeschooled, and that's not really true. They analyzed the data when they were doing budgeting last year, and it's mostly people who got deported or people who self-deported. It was some, but not a ton, who, not 7,000, you know, not the majority of students who took the vouchers. But also, of course, no school district employee should be telling an upset parent to go take a voucher or to go homeschool. If in February, we listened to a comment from a parent who said something similar. She said, the superintendent told me to go homeschool. Remove that language from your vocabulary. Hello. Come on.
Another example. Over the past 3 months, I've tried to obtain a simple explanation of why my child was denied an aftercare seat for next school year. Instead, I have received multiple conflicting explanations from district employees. The school informed me there were 55 available seats, aside from the ones designated for teachers' sons and daughters, at his grade level for next school year, and that my child was number 16 on the waiting list. However, the official enrollment records I obtained through public records request at that time showed that my child's registration timestamp placed him within the first 55 applicants. Also, the official records you provided do not have seconds in the timestamp, so I don't know why my child is behind everyone with the same timestamp. As I continued asking questions, the explanations became increasingly inconsistent. Eventually, I was directed to the district's operational manual for aftercare. While the manual encourages administrators to make every effort to keep siblings together, it does not authorize siblings to bypass applicants with earlier registration timestamps. So why is it being done? That distinction matters because a sibling preference changes who receives a limited public resource. It is not simply an administrative procedure. It's an enrollment priority. If such a priority exists, it should be clearly authorized by the school board, applied consistently, and communicated transparently to every family. I also learned that the operational manual directs aftercare programs to continually recruit sufficient staff to eliminate wait lists. Yet, I was told by a district employee that it will simply not be done. Most perplexing of all, your own manual states that hiring is to be conducted on a continuous basis. If the school already knew in April that it had received more qualified applicants than available seats, why wasn't this issue addressed so far? Aftercare at one of your schools costs about $260 per month, and in private providers, it costs about $260 per week. Most parents cannot afford that private weekly cost. This issue is about transparency, consistency, and public trust in the administration of a program. It appears that aftercare enrollment practices are inconsistent with the operational manual, and enrollment preferences have been implemented without.
Yeah, so this parent essentially catches them lying. She signs her kid up for the aftercare program. They lie to her and tell her that when she signed him up, he was on number 16th on the wait list, and then she requested the official record. It showed that he was within the first 55 slots, and they just didn't honor that, and then she received a bunch of inconsistent answers as to why they did that, because they didn't want to admit that they lied and broke their policy because it makes them look bad. Very unfortunate. And then she also calls them out for this like staffing shortage. Like, the manual you gave me says that you should be hiring staff to prevent wait lists. You know, it's expensive. I need this service and it's really expensive in the private market. Like, you should be hiring staff. And they tell her they're not going to do that. And if you've been watching school board commentary, these school board meetings in general, you know why that is. It's that they can't hold down staff. Based on what Matthew Lane said, what is this parent's perception of this school? That it is staffed by people who break policy and lie about it, and nothing is done, you know? So sometimes staff behave in a way that we all wouldn't like, you know? I know I've made mistakes at work. So I think the way forward is just like to communicate to this parent, like, we're really sorry this happened. I will talk to the employees who did this and make sure it doesn't happen again in the future. And thank you for choosing the school. All right, so thus concludes the school board commentary episode. And then I'm just going to say a few things about what's going on with my Moms for Liberty chapter. There's something going on with our Instagram page. We are fixing it. We didn't delete our Instagram page on purpose. And then also, I hope y'all are all gearing up for these school board meetings. If you live in District 6, I went to the District 6 candidate forum and I wrote out a little kind of report on our Facebook page about what everyone said, and I tried to make this, you know, very neutral and just stick to the facts. And I wanted to do this for the District 4 candidate forum, and then I was on my way out the door that Monday and I sprained my ankle. I sprained the hell out of my ankle. It was very unfortunate. So I'm sorry I wasn't able to do that for the District 4 candidate forum. I would just say research how you can. And if you have questions that aren't answered, maybe Facebook DM these people if you were feeling so bold, you know? Maybe they'll answer. Maybe they won't have time because they're doing a lot of campaigning and stuff for the next month, but maybe they will, you know? Try and be as informed as you possibly can before you go make this decision. And I'm excited to see how 2 new faces affect the dynamics of this board. It's going to be really fun. Excited for school board commentary episodes of the future. And all right. Thanks, everybody.